Hello, my name is Ada Calhoun. I'm here with my first novel. It's called Crush. It is a book about a happily married woman who develops a massive crush on someone and then ransacks the entire history of world literature, looking for ways to hold on to both her crush and her husband. I've only written nonfiction before this. My last book was a memoir called Also a Poet. My book before that, Why We Can't Sleep, was a New York Times bestseller about the plight of Generation X. For that one, I spoke with hundreds of women who were struggling in one way or another. The book came out in January 2020, and after several weeks of live events all around the country, where we had a wonderful time, the book talks became me at home, staring at hundreds of squares of crying women every night. In the year that followed, I, like so many of the women I wrote about in that book, wound up in a reckoning. It involved asking questions like, why am I doing everything? Why am I doing so much for other people and so little for myself? And what would happen if I just did what I want? What I found is that when you start sincerely asking those questions, a lot starts to change. My last couple of books were in part about caregiving and mortality. While this book has some of that, I think it is way more fun. In part, that's because for the first time in my life, I made things up in the book. That meant that I got to make the people in the book do exactly what I wanted them to do. And I was able to give my narrator a brilliant, sexy love interest, someone who said everything I'd ever want such a person to say. I've been told that Crush is appealing for people who like romance, literary fiction, and books about books. Molly Ringwald, who of course is everyone's crush, compared it to a fever dream. And Isaac Fitzgerald said, it's a novel that will grab you by your shoulders and shake you until you feel alive, which frankly sounds terrifying, but he says it's a good thing. So thank you for listening, and I hope you like Crush.